Reggie from Nintendo says there's going to be a big Wii title coming this holiday, revealed during E3. Reggie had a lot to say at Game Show's TV host Jeff Knightley, as an interview between the two back during the GDC has finally aired. In it, Reggie drops a few bombs on all of us with a soft port for the big end, commending it as great content on the way for the Wii during the second half of the year. But we won't be hearing it until E3. He does tease us, though, commenting this great new content will maximize all our franchises. But the biggest bombshell of all of them is that there will be no one big game for the holiday that gamers will want. He says it's going to be something appealing to both hardcore audience and the new expanded audience. Let the speculation begin. EA Sports, Wii Cup overfloweth. It looks like 2007's Ubisoft has turned into 2008's EA, as the latter has a slew of new titles lined up for the Wii, and is supporting the console much as Ubisoft did during the launch. We're wondering if EA has some actual quality products lined up for us, or if they're going to just return to an opportunity for somewhat shovelware or port us to death. With 8 new games lined up by the company, EA Sports has also new IP planned for the console. Electronic Arts wants their own slice of delicious casual pie, as EA head honcho Peter Moore comments, quote, We now have 8 titles in development for Wii, testament both to the global impact of the console currently in the global marketplace, as well as to our desire to attract more consumers to experience EA Sports games, no matter their experience playing games nor their powers with traditional controller. So, you excited? Still hate EA? What games do you think we're getting? What's your opinion regarding all this? Comment and subscribe. Crystal Barrel's continued development possibly confirmed. We've been greatly concerned with the fate of Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, the Crystal Bearers for the Wii, considering the system needs more RPGs and certainly a Final Fantasy game outside of WiiWare. There has been many rumors, however, that the game was cancelled, and we've been biting our nails and waiting for news. It looks like we finally got some, though from an unlikely source, an interview about the latest EA games in the franchise. The staff at Kiziko recently sat down with us for some very creative forces behind Final Fantasy VII Revenant Wings and Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Ring of Fates. And in the course of the discussion, the possibility of connectivity between the Wii and DS Crystal Chronicles games came up. Ring of Fates director Miss Drami Kasagami indicated that the Wii title, in fact, is still in development, and we are so very relieved. There's just one problem with that sheds a little doubt in the Crystal Bearers reference. Either the Kiziko staff wasn't too familiar with the DS titles, or this is an old interview. There are questions asked about well-known features of both DS games, such as the lack of inclusion in Wi-Fi multiplayer, and we're forced to take the whole thing with a grain of salt. However, we're willing to hope that we've just been thrown to the tiny spoons of reassuring us that we have a Final Fantasy experience to look forward to what beyond is coming to WiiWare. O&M reports that there's going to be no snaking in Mario Kart. You can all breathe easier now, considering, of course, that you trust the UK's official Nintendo magazine, which has been known to be wrong on a few things here and there. When we reported rumors that the dreaded snaking technique would worm its way to the Mario Kart Wii, many of you vented your irritation onto our comment. According to O&M, the snaking won't be exploitable in the upcoming Wii Racer. The magazine reported its own review of the game. Quote, ever since the Nintendo 64 game, practically every Mario Kart game has included the ability to get speed boosts by wagging the controllers left and right as you power slide. This has finally been scrapped, and now the speed boost is determined by how long you can hold the slide. End quote. Sounds like a better system to us. Yeah, we're sure some of the advocates of snaking are not happy by this turn of events. So now it's your turn to vent in the comments. Let us hear your woes, snakers. Okami shots pants leave us stunned. Capcom's press site has revealed 64 dazzling screens of Okami, showing off the PS2 to Wii port in its full 480p glory. Admittedly, it's not looking wildly different from the PS2 version. That is, after all, a Capcom port. But the Clover Studio original was such a striking game that we cannot care a jot. You owe it to yourself to browse the gallery below, which I will have in the link, and for heaven's sake, if you haven't already, check out the in-game motion and prepare to gasp. Japanese pamphlet zeroes in on a release date for Resident Evil port. Did you miss spending your evenings watching the undead and snarling zombie hounds gnaw at your ankles on outplant missions? If so, Japanese store Lee left to the right will be special interest to you because it reveals a release date of May 29th for Capcom's Resident Evil Zero. That's quite a bit closer than we expected, especially as the port was revealed at the end of February. Obviously, this is just a Japanese date for now, and it might be the only date, which was uncertainty surrounding a U.S. release. Brawl sneakers sprint into our hearts. The rabid excitement of pre-brawl days affected us all in different ways, fueled by daily dojo updates. Some simply crossed dates off on a calendar, while others would bore their friends senseless about one day playing as Snake. Joseph Collins did something far, far cooler. He grabbed a pair of plain old white Nike Air Force Ones, went to town on them with a marker pen, and made something beautiful. These customized sneakers feature all 36 bras as hand-drawn by Joseph himself, who clearly doesn't lack talent. The results are fantastic, and we totally wear these white shooting hoops at the local court. If you know, we ever actually went outside, and we are anyway sporty. Super Smash Bros. Brawl sales record into the sky. Smashing, get it? Get it? Nintendo of America's first week sales record was held at one point by Pokemon Gold and Silver. Super Smash Bros. Brawl has sold a ridiculous 1.8 million copies from its March 9th launch, and well before that, and yesterday. That comes out to 122 copies a minute. Nintendo's Cammy Dunaway described the reaction to Brawl in sweeping, but appropriate terms. Begin quote. Super Smash Bros. Brawl has made the leap from video game to cultural phenomenon. End quote. Toys R Us offers $20 off a purchase with the second Wii game. Those of you hoping to expand your Wii games library should look to the Toys R Us titles this weekend. The store, both brick and mortar and online, is offering a sale on Wii titles, which is just another excuse to give our wallets a beating. There's a catch, because there's always a catch. This one is that you're going to have to buy 2 games to take advantage of the deal. Still, if you buy 1 game, and you'll get the second one for $20 less. It's a pretty sweet promotion. The deal only goes through Saturday, so make sure you jump on it quickly as if you're looking to buy some Wii games. Hello, welcome to WiiNation-Daily podcast. Today is March 18th, 2008. And let's start with our virtual console madness, Super R-Type and Spelunker. This week's virtual console releases include the 2 titles on Nintendo's platforms. One of the titles, just released in Europe this past Friday, is a very component shoot-'em-up. The only problem is the virtual console already has plenty of them. This week's VC releases are Spelunker for NES, which is 1 player and is 500 Wii points, and Super R-Type, which is for the Super NES and is 1 player and is 800 Wii points. As always, be sure to stop back later for video game wrap-ups of today's releases. The Wii releases of March 17th are Sega Superstars Tennis, Worms: A Space Oddity, George of the Jungle, and Pro Evolution Soccer 2008, and World War II Aces. So, who's planning on picking up any of these? There's more to Worms than not being online. The majority of coverage for Worms: A Space Oddity has focused on the lack of online play, including the title and the first sentence of this video. However, lots of Worms games have been offline only, if only because so many of them predate online capabilities in game consoles. And fixating on the disappointment draws attention away from the other aspects of the game, which include the whole game. 4 new trailers for this game focus on the game's new or updated weapons, like the Robo-Sheep seen here. The Robo-Sheep is like a regular sheep, but robotic because it's more sci-fi that way. Also, you can move the remote up to make it jump before there's exploding. That's it for this info.